Homage to the Buddha, homage to the Dharma, homage to the Sangha. This lecture is going to be very long. I do not want any of you to sit in pain. If you need to move, please do so, and please do so as quietly and with as little inconvenience to those sitting beside you as possible. We are now moving into a new area of Dogen with this particular chapter. I have talked to you many times about how the code was worked and used and why. But there were some parts of the code which were thought to be so important that they were almost, in fact, they were coded within the code. Such a chapter is number 17, Juki, a term which, quite correctly, has here been translated as prediction of Buddhahood. But it also means much more than the prediction of Buddhahood. But you will not find the inner coded meaning anywhere in any dictionary, whether Buddhist or otherwise. Only is this handed down from master to disciple. There is, of course, as with all double codes in Zen, a play on the sound of the words. Juki. Ju, a term meaning Buddhist or Buddhistic, and ki meaning prediction. And with the two characters used for this particular chapter, that is exactly how it is translated. But when a Buddhist says the term Juki, he may be referring to the prediction of Buddhahood, or he may be saying Ju in the sense of 10, in the sense of 10 precepts, and Ki, the water of the Spirit. The water of the Spirit that flows as a result of the 10 precepts. What else is there that is the prediction of Buddhahood other than the flowing of the water of the Spirit? For the flowing of the water of the Spirit is in fact the proof and the prediction and the certainty of the fact that one's Buddha nature exists and that one will, at a later date, become Buddha. So you have a double meaning and a double sound, whilst at the same time having two very simple characters, meaning prediction of Buddhahood. So sometimes in this chapter, which unfortunately is extraordinarily badly translated, sometimes they are speaking of it solely as a prediction of Buddhahood with an implied flow of the water of the Spirit. At other times they are speaking of the flow of the water of the Spirit alone. At others they are speaking of the water of the Spirit as a prediction of Buddhahood. And only the context and one's own inner spiritual growth can tell you clearly and loudly which is implied in each sentence. quite rightly, Dogen has incorporated in this chapter the Buddha's teachings on how to view others and how not to get caught in judgmentalism. And therefore, this is one of the most important chapters, perhaps, in the whole book. How do you say that in a book in which every chapter is so good that it is important? One can only say that this is a very important chapter. So, says Dogen, the great way of the Buddhas and patriarchs, and its continual transmission from master to disciple is Juki. That is, the great way of the Buddhas and patriarchs and its continual transmission from master to disciple is accomplished through their prediction of Buddhahood, and this prediction is accomplished through pouring the water of the Spirit from one to another. If we do not have proper study and the practice of the Buddhas and patriarchs, we cannot even dream about this water of the Spirit. However, this water is not only given to those who have awakened their Buddha nature. It is given even to those who have not aroused their Buddha-seeking mind, let alone discovered their Buddha nature. That they know this or not is not for us to decide. We should know that every living thing possesses the Buddha nature, and that the water of the Spirit is given to all. Those who have trained know the water of the Spirit, and they know that it is their prediction of Buddhahood. Those who do not know this still possess it. It is important that we remember this. The prediction of Buddhahood and the water of the Spirit is given regardless of whether even a person or a being has a body or not. The water of the Spirit is given to all the Buddhas and patriarchs, and they all maintain and preserve this water of the Spirit. That is the big difference between them and those who have not yet aroused their Buddha-seeking mind, and those who have not yet discovered their own Buddha nature. Because of their insensitivity, because of the amount of coarse karma they are carrying around within themselves, they cannot feel the pouring of the water and know the prediction of Buddhahood. But the Buddhas and patriarchs, as a result of training themselves, not only know this, but give it to each other and to others, and they maintain and preserve both the prediction of Buddhahood for others and the prediction of it in themselves by the constant turning of the wheel of the law and the constant flow of the water. That is the difference between Buddhas and patriarchs and those who have not yet aroused the Buddha-seeking mind. It is a difference of training, not of essence. Many people believe that one receives the water of the Spirit after becoming a Buddha. This is the usual interpretation. But you should not accept this, nor expect to be given the water after you become a Buddha. First, don't expect too much, and later don't expect anything. If the water comes, it comes. Do not expect to be given the water after you become a Buddha. It is a blessing from the cosmic Buddha, not something that one expects in return for training. When you are given the water of the Spirit, you become a Buddha. When there is true practice, then there is the water of the Spirit. All the Buddhas have the water of the Spirit. Their spiritual advancement has the water of the Spirit and the prediction of Buddhahood. And this is where we find the prediction of Buddhahood in our own body and Buddha nature within this water of the Spirit. When we study and find this great prediction, our Buddhist way becomes great. There is, was, and will be the water of the Spirit in our past and in our future. There is a prediction of Buddhahood and the water of the Spirit that can be known by ourselves and others. And there is a prediction of Buddhahood and the water of the Spirit that cannot be. You are not a magician. It is not for you necessarily to know that the water of the Spirit flows through another. That it does or does not has nothing to do with you. That it flows through you is what matters. The water of the Spirit is the actualization of the true self, the cosmic Buddha within you. It is actualized when the water flows. Therefore, what the Buddhas and patriarchs have transmitted from generation to generation is nothing more than this prediction of Buddhahood, which is confirmed through the water of the Spirit. All things in their true essence are nothing other than this water of the Spirit, whether they be mountains, rivers, earth, and the great oceans. This is the only possible and true interpretation of the water of the Spirit and the prediction of Buddhahood. When the water of the Spirit is understood in this way, it is the one word spoken, heard, or comprehended that brings full enlightenment. For indeed it is the practice and teaching of enlightenment. The water of the Spirit knows exactly how to move backward and forwards. If the Buddhas and patriarchs had not bestowed this water of the Spirit upon us, we would now be unable to sit in Zazen, and we would not be able to wear the kesa of the Buddhas and patriarchs. Accept these acts of the Buddhism patriarchs with a gashore, for this is a great manifestation of their prediction of our Buddhahood. Buddha said that the prediction of Buddhahood and the flowing of the water of the Spirit can be interpreted in 8 basic ways. And these are the ways in which one should understand the flowing of this water when asking oneself, one's true self, certain basic questions at the time of Kensho. These 8 basic ways are as follows. 1. One knows of one's own water of the Spirit. One knows that it flows within oneself, but others do not know this. 2. Others know that it flows, but oneself does not know. 3. Both oneself and others know. 4. Neither oneself nor others know. 5. People close to the person with the flowing water know, but those far away do not. 6. People who are far away know, but those close do not. 7. Everyone, both near and far, knows. 8. No one, whether near or far, knows. This is the interpretation of the Buddha. These are some of the diverse understandings These are some of the diverse ways in which the water of the Spirit may be known. But you should not think that there is no water of the Spirit in this stinkingly impregnated bag of bones which we call our body. Those are Dogen's words, not mine. It is important that we do not state that unenlightened people do not receive the water of the Spirit. That they know it or not, that we know it or not, is not our business. What matters is that they awaken to it through the prediction of Buddhahood, through the one word offered, the one sentence, the one verse, or by any other means that it is possible to be awakened by. It is not for us to judge. The Buddha made this clear, and these 8 interpretations, and we should abide by his words. Generally speaking, most people think that the water of the Spirit is given when one completes one's practice and becomes a Buddha. But no one ever completes one's practice. One should know that such thinking is not correct in the Buddhist way. To hear one word from a Zen master, or learn one word from the scriptures, is an occasion in which to feel and know the water of the Spirit rushing through your veins. In this state, our original Buddha nature emerges, and it is the basis of all goodness. To receive this water of the Spirit is to receive the very essence of Buddhism. We should know that even a speck of dust has absolute value and limitless capability. We should know that the water of the Spirit is to be found in a speck of dust. If it cannot be found in all things, then it cannot be found in any one thing. The flowing of the water of the Spirit, which is the prediction and the affirmation of our Buddhahood, is both practice, contains both practice and enlightenment. Buddhas and patriarchs, practice and enlightenment based on Zazen, great enlightenment and great illusion. All of these things are within the water of the Spirit, and none can be cut therefrom or separated out. All is one great offering. All is swept away by one great tide. Once Obaku said to Rinzai, "The teaching of my school will expand in your lifetime." This was not one person saying to another, "I am greater than you, my school will be greater than yours." It was someone saying, "The water has poured from you to me, and I will cause it to gush in all directions." Do not think with the worldly mind. There is no competition here between Obaku and Rinzai. Master Ino told his disciple Nangaku, "I am like you and you are like me." The translation would perhaps be better if it said, "I am as you and you are as me." For master and disciple are one. This is to understand fully the essence of Buddhism, the water of the Spirit. It is the mark of Buddhist teaching, for it transcends all relativity. It is the transmission from one to another. It is that which is constant in life and death, that which is constant in the 10 quarters of the world and the present world itself, with nothing whatsoever concealed. Once Great Master Gensha Soichi was walking with his master Seppo. Seppo pointed at the ground in front of him and said, "This ground is suitable for a stupa." Gensha asked, "How high will the stupa be?" Seppo glanced up and down, indicating the height. "Oh, Master," Gensha told him, "you are the most fortunate monk in the world, but why is it that even you cannot begin to dream about the Juki, the water of the Spirit, the prediction of Buddhahood, given from Shakyamuni to Makakashore on Vulture Peak?" Seppo said quietly in return, "How high is the stupa?" 7 or 8 feet, Gensha said. It is not for the disciple to wonder about the enlightenment of his master, remember the Buddha's words. One knows of one's own flowing of the water of the Spirit, but others do not. It is not Seppo's problem that Gensha did not have enough faith. His answer, quietly, how high is the stupa, places things back very perfectly in perspective. When Master Seigen gave the water of the Spirit to his disciple Sekito, Seigen received the same water of the Spirit as that which was received by Markakeshor from Shakyamuni. We should know that the water of the Spirit transmitted from Shakyamuni is in each transmission of the way from Buddha to Buddha and patriarch to patriarch down to the present time. We should not query whether or not another knows this. We should know that the water flows, whether or not there is this certain knowledge. When the sixth patriarch, who lived on Mount Sorkei, transmitted his teaching to Seigen, Seigen became the real Seigen by his reception of this water of the Spirit from his master. He cast off the old Seigen and became one with his true self. Indeed, all of the predecessors of the sixth patriarch directly transmitted their law through Seigen's prediction of Buddhahood and his causing to flow the water of the Spirit. This mind of the Buddhism patriarchs is pure and natural. It is like everything that is around us, the grasses, the flowers, and the trees. Since the Buddhas are thus, we ourselves too are pure and natural, as the grasses and the flowers and the trees. But do not think you are always aware of or can see what you possess, your Buddha nature. Do not think that you will always be aware of the water of the Spirit. Do not think you will always be aware of your Buddhahood. What we are able to know is not necessarily possessed by us, and what we possess is not necessarily known or seen by us. Do not doubt that we possess something. Do not doubt that we possess the water of the Spirit. Just because it does not fit into what others call normal categories of thinking or visual perception. Do not be dragged out of your true faith. Do not allow scoffers to harm what is here said and written. The water of the Spirit, with its prediction of Buddha that was bestowed on those on Vulture Peak, was the water of the Spirit that Shakyamuni allowed to flow through him. It was bestowed from the old Gautama to the new Shakyamuni. The water of the Spirit is not revealed openly to people who lack understanding. but it is known openly and passes from one to another. Once one knows that one already possesses it, once one knows what it is. For here there are no obstacles, and nothing is lacking or extra. One should know that this is how the water of the Spirit is transmitted from Buddha to Buddha. Concerning this, an ancient Buddha once said, "All the Buddhas of the present and the past used a hos to teach the true meaning of East and West. This meaning is so subtle, so profound, how could it even be discussed if the Buddhas had not transmitted its principle?" Remember that the hos symbolizes the fountain of the water of the Spirit, from east to west. Why did you come from the west? Why does the water of the Spirit flow out from you, from east to west unseen? Know what it is you show to the world every time you raise the hos and wave it. You show the water of the Spirit pouring forth from its fountain, from its source. If we comprehend, study, and proclaim the teaching that our own self is the real self, then the actualization of our prediction of Buddhahood and the water of the Spirit will be a great koan for us. We must actualize the water of the Spirit in our own body and Buddha nature. And we must know that understanding both the water of the Spirit and the most profound insight of the Buddhas are inseparable. These two go hand in hand. In order to bring out the true meaning of the water of the Spirit in all its beauty, the Buddhas actualized enlightenment in this way. They made the water of the Spirit the proof of the prediction of Buddhahood. Thus was the actualization. The power of receiving this water is what brings Buddhas into existence. Attainment of enlightenment is the most important thing. In order to attain to Buddhahood, the water of the Spirit must be received by the egoless ego, that which has gone beyond the opposites to the third position, by the non-substantial true self. This is how all the Buddhas are given the water of the Spirit, by all the other Buddhas. There are various ways of receiving this water of the Spirit. By raising one or both hands in the form of Gesho used when doing a full bow, which I have explained to you as the opening of the lotus. By seeing the blooming of an Udambara flower or a golden robe in vision. These actions and visions have no power to enlighten of themselves. Their efficacy comes from the willingness of those who use them to be filled, and from the water of the Spirit which does the filling of them. The water of the Spirit can be received either interiorly or exteriorly. If you want to understand the aspects of the interior and exterior self, you must learn the conditions necessary for the bestowing of the water of the Spirit. To receive this water exteriorly, to receive this water by the exterior self, is to learn the way, to practice the way. This is the way in which the water will come. For in practicing the way there is no instability. To receive the water interiorly, one must do Zazen, for then eternity is captured in one moment. An ancient Buddha said, "One after another, people are becoming Buddhas and bestowing the water of the Spirit upon each other continuously." Becoming Buddhas is the ceaseless transmission of the Buddhist way, the rightful occupation of monks, the giving of one to another. The bestowal of the water of the Spirit is the transmission of the Buddhist teaching. If you follow the current of the Buddhist way, then you yourself become a Buddha. This transmission of the prediction of Buddhahood, together with the water of the Spirit, is linked together and passes from generation to generation throughout endless time and space. It does not create any specific conditions or consciousness in either body or mind, but adapts itself to the development of time and place. We must study this in detail. The appearance of all the Buddhas and Patriarchs and Bodhidharmas coming to the West, and the subsequent transmission of his water of the Spirit, develop according to this principle. Such everyday activities as drawing water, carrying firewood, lifting the needle, cooking the food, should be based on this prediction of Buddhahood. For when one knows one's prediction of Buddhahood, there is no such thing as a menial task. We ourselves are Buddha, is the actualization of the state of non-duality. Few people realize this. We should know that there are many levels of detachment from worldly ways and duality, and numerous ways of fulfillment and a variety of Buddhas. Therefore, one after another, people are becoming Buddhas, attaining to non-duality, receiving the water of the Spirit, and proclaiming the Buddhist way. Right transmission cannot be attained easily in the beginning, but through practice it can be actualized in various ways. All the Buddhas and Patriarchs have actualized detachment. or the going beyond the opposites, going beyond duality to the third position, that of the cosmic Buddha. And in so doing, they have bestowed the right transmission continuously. They have transmitted the water of the Spirit from generation to generation, without interruption. An ancient Buddha said, "When I heard the prediction of Buddhahood, and the water of the Spirit, when I heard the prediction of Buddhahood and felt the water of the Spirit being given to me and to others, and that it was being given and received, I was filled with joy. For this means that I too am surely following the Buddha and hearing about others who are also following his way and continuously receiving the water of the Spirit. This fills me with great joy. The water of the Spirit is transmitted continuously, which means that I too receive the water of the Spirit right now. The water of the Spirit is independent of any kind of discrimination of past, present, or future, or of self and others. Hearing one's prediction of Buddhahood or receiving the water of the Spirit depends entirely on the Buddha. It does not depend on others, not on the opposition between illusion and enlightenment, not on sentient beings, not on any magical formulae, or on grass, trees, or land. Only by following the Buddha and keeping the Buddhist way can the prediction of Buddhahood be received and the water of the Spirit solemnly caused to flow, be received, given, and passed on. Then it increases continuously without ceasing, and is accompanied by overwhelming joy of both body and spirit. Since the body undoubtedly influences the spirit, and vice versa, the joy we get from receiving the water of the Spirit permeates the world and the four directions of the universe. It is the supreme joy, the moment of marriage with the Supreme, the Unborn, the Undying, the Uncreated, the Unchanging. Be assured that this joy, sleeping or waking, enlightened or unenlightened, is the true joy. It can be found by everyone, but because it is so pure, it transcends normal categories of thought and understanding. It is pure and serene, and therefore passes from generation to generation of those who preserve and maintain their training. Shakyamuni once told Yakushin Yorai Bodhisatta, "O Yakuo Bodhisatta, there are all kinds of beings here, countless gods of music and war, birds, snakes and demons, human and non-human beings, monks, nuns, laymen and women, shamans, Buddhas, and other seekers who want to hear the teaching and gain enlightenment. Among all these beings gathered here, and these people will attain supreme enlightenment in the future as a result of this prediction of their Buddhahood. For this prediction is my certification of their Buddhahood which is to come. Innumerable types of beings, gods and humans, kings and disciples were present, and each has a different resolve or understanding of Shakyamuni's teaching. Nevertheless, all can approach supreme enlightenment, and through that enlightenment experience true joy. Do not be misled by the fact that they all understand it differently. 1,000,000 ways lead to the same place. One must walk that one which is best. But one must do pure Zazen, and one must keep the Buddhist way. Further, it is the study or hearing of the Lotus Sutra that gives them true joy. Therefore, all beings are forms of the Lotus Sutra. Gathered before Buddha means to be within Buddha. When one gathers before the altar, it means that one is upon the altar together with all beings. Although humans and non-humans have different interpretations of any particular phenomena, they share the same essential Buddha nature. That is why Shakyamuni can give them his water of the spirit, and they will ultimately attain supreme enlightenment. Shakyamuni also told Yakuwo Bodhisattva, even after I enter the final stage of supreme nirvana, I will still bestow the water of the spirit on those who have experienced true joy. After reading or hearing just one gatha or verse of the Lotus Scripture, and they will attain supreme enlightenment in the future. What did Shakyamuni mean by after I enter the final stage of supreme enlightenment? Does he mean the 49-year period of proclaiming the Dharma, or his entire life of 80 years? It is obvious that here he meant his entire life of 80 years. Also, is it possible for someone who lacks learning or scholarship to experience true joy after reading or hearing just one verse? Or is it only for those who are wise or learned? If one's heart is pure and true, the explanation will be properly made, and thus any human being can understand that which is heard or read. So we should not be concerned whether or not someone has learning. Just give the gift without thought of it being something that is given or taken. Just make the offering. Do not consider whether others can understand it. Do the best one can to explain it. And if the heart is pure, there will the Lotus Sutra blossom. We must realize that when we study the teaching of the Lotus Sutra, through the profound and limitless Buddhist wisdom, we can grasp its essence in just one verse or gatha and experience true joy in an instant, whether we are clever or dull. Then we receive the water of the Spirit, which is the certification of the attainment of supreme enlightenment, and we are then able to bestow the water of the Spirit on others, and they in turn can pass it on to still others. But do not entrust this water of the Spirit to careless or lazy people. You must strive to be one who experiences this true joy from hearing one verse or gata of the Lotus Scripture, not one who eats the truth, not one who eats another's truth. You must attain this. You must study and work for this by yourself. Do not disregard the skin, flesh, bones and marrow of the Buddhist way, for this is the true Buddhist way. If you receive the water of the Spirit, it will lead you to enlightenment, and your resolve to gain liberation will be fulfilled. It must be done in this manner. Do not try to steal another's understanding. Listen with your whole heart and your whole being. Do not be careless or lazy. When you receive the water of the Spirit, it is the certification of the prediction of Buddhahood for you. Do not think that because you have that certification, that you then need to do nothing more and can sit back and do nothing more. You must study in detail, go back and forth until you know every single thing that can possibly separate you from the cosmic Buddha or damage your training in any way. Do not be careless or lazy. To receive the water of the Spirit, to receive the prediction, is a wonderful thing. From then it is the gyate, haragyate, haraso gyate, bodhisoaka, going on, with the water thundering and rushing, always becoming Buddha. Do not be careless or lazy. There are many ways in which this water of the Spirit is bestowed. Shakyamuni used an Udambara flower. I explained this to you when we did the chapter on the Udambara flower. And Daiman Konin used a pine tree. Others blinked or smiled. Master Taiyo Kyogen used a pair of straw sandals in order to bestow the water of the Spirit. These illustrations are beyond any intellectual understanding. Similarly, a master sometimes says, I am as the water of the Spirit, or you are as the water of the Spirit, meaning that we share the same condition of enlightenment. We are one in the cosmic Buddha. This principle has caused the water of the Spirit to be bestowed in the past, present, and future. In those three conditions of time, both our water of the Spirit and others' water of the Spirit are actualized and are one and the same, and are our certification. Vimalakirti said to Maitreya Bodhisattva, the Buddha that is to come, O Maitreya, you receive the water of the Spirit from Shakyamuni and will attain to supreme enlightenment in this life. What is the proper time to receive the water of the Spirit? In the past, present, or future? If it is in the past, then the past life is already gone. If it is in the future, that life has not yet come. If it is in the present, it is in a state of already flowing. Shakyamuni taught the monks that life in the present is birth, old age, and death. His teaching was based on the Mu-Shor, the non-created, the non-born, the non-dying, the non-changing. We receive the water of the spirits. We receive the water of the Spirit by means of the Mu-Shor, the non-created, the cosmic Buddha. This is the true form that transcends discrimination. In this stage, there is no idea of receiving either the water of the Spirit or of supreme enlightenment. In this stage of Mu-Shor, there is the unborn, the undying, the uncreated, the unchanging. O Maitreya, what is your prediction of Buddhahood? What is your flowing water? Did you receive it through birth or death? If you receive it through birth, how can truth be born? And if through death, how can truth die? All sentient beings, all dharmas are the cosmic Buddha. All the saints and sages are the cosmic Buddha. All the patriarchs, including yourself, are the cosmic Buddha. Therefore, if you receive the water of the Spirit and the prediction of Buddhahood, all sentient beings receive the water of the Spirit and the prediction of Buddhahood. For there can be no dichotomy in the cosmic Buddha. If you attain supreme and perfect enlightenment, all sentient beings also attain supreme and perfect enlightenment, because all sentient beings possess and in fact are the real form of enlightenment. Maitreya's reception of the water of the Spirit was already determined by Shakyamuni. So whenever sentient beings receive the water of the Spirit, it has also been determined by Shakyamuni in his pure form in the cosmic Buddha. If all sentient beings do not receive the water of the Spirit, then Maitreya's water of the Spirit and his prediction of Buddhahood could never have been given. For all sentient beings taken together are the real form of enlightenment, and this enlightenment confirms the enlightenment of the water of the Spirit. This water of the Spirit is our present life, and in this present life we receive the prediction of Buddhahood, of which this water is the certification. Therefore, all sentient beings share Maitreya's resolve to attain enlightenment, and they simultaneously receive the water of the Spirit and attain enlightenment when he does. Thus all of us are Maitreya, the Buddha that is to come. Vimalakirti said that the past has already gone, the future has not yet come, and the present is in a state of flowing. But it is not necessary for the past to leave and the future to come, or for the present to be in a state of flowing, if one would understand the flowing of the water of the Spirit. For this flowing of the water of the Spirit is timeless and has nothing to do with past, present, and future. We may use past, future, and present to describe the destruction, potentiality, or fluidity of things, but we must be awakened to the past, future, and present, which have not yet arrived, or which we have already forgotten. Unless we can find the flowing of the water in our past lives and in this past life, unless we can see this flow, this stream, this red line of the Kechimyaku, unless we can see this, we are in difficulties. We must see this at all times, from the far past to the far future. We must live in this state. Then what has happened in the past is of no consequence, and what will happen in the future will be of no consequence. There will be an eternal now. The future will not be pregnant with the potentiality of the past. The past will not bind us to itself, and we will live as one with the cosmic Buddha. This is the principle by which we can attain enlightenment in birth and death. This is what we mean when we say, all sentient beings receive the water of the Spirit. When this happens, Maitreya receives the water of the Spirit also. Now I will ask a question, says Dogen, of Vimalakirti. Please tell me if Maitreya and all sentient beings are the same. As I said before, when all sentient beings receive the water of the Spirit, Maitreya receives the water of the Spirit. If Maitreya and all sentient beings are not the same, then Maitreya is not Maitreya, and sentient beings are not sentient beings. And Vimalakirti will not be Vimalakirti, and what he says will be senseless. Therefore, when the water of the Spirit confirms the true nature of all sentient beings, then all sentient beings and Maitreya exist in their own true form within the cosmic Buddha. When you receive the water of the Spirit, the true form of all things emerges. Your Buddhahood in the future is confirmed, and the certification is known to you every day, every moment, as the water flows in meditation. Be sure that the lifeblood of Buddha the water of the Spirit, always courses strongly within your veins, for it is your certification of your prediction of Buddhahood. Homage to the Buddha, homage to the Dharma, homage to the Sangha.